intellectual content to nationalists and to bring nationalists to to bring the intellects to the nationalist fold. That is the two major targets for the Pragna Bharati. Of course, to achieve that, we do a lot of seminars, conferences, and things like that. We do publications. We award what we call as Pragna Puraskar to very eminent people who contributed to this nation. And recently, about a few months back, November last year to be precise, we conducted a massive program called Lok Manthan. President Draupadi Murmuji was a chief guest in that. So that's background for which Pragna Bharati is known for. And currently, Srinivas ji, who you are interacting with, is our president here. And myself and Sharma ji are both of us are vice presidents. Vijay Bharati ji is there. She is now currently a member of the National Human Rights Commission. She is also a vice president. And our treasurer is Vijay Totapalli. He is also there in the group today. So this is where we are, sir. We focus on, as I said, currently we are talking about the narrative war that is going on in the world. So we have been trying to do our small bit, trying to create awareness and trying to do some kind of a work on it so that we could produce our content. So in a nutshell, this is where we come from, sir. And friends, we are very honored to have Shri Vijay Sardana ji amongst us today. He is, as he was telling this before we started the program, he's an MBA from IIM, and then he worked in several companies. Actually, he's food security and agro business. He has been doing it for more than 25 years now. UPL Limited he worked for, and so he comes from a very rich experience in private industry, and also he worked for food technology, FTRI and things like that. And so we have a very eminent person who has been, working in so many fields for such a long time. He has been awarded so many, he is a recipient of so many awards, distinguished personality for contribution to commodities market, because commodities market has been his specialization. And then President of India also gave him award. So his Indian Poultry Journalists Association gave him awards. So he's a versatile person, and his channel, Vijay Sardana channel, is very popular. He produces very rich researched content. Currently, he's also a lawyer, practicing lawyer in the Supreme Court. So he has been talking extensively on the current subject today that we want to talk about. I would request all of you to subscribe to his channel as well, and then we can follow him. The kind of well-researched content that he's presenting every day. So, with the small introduction, Vijayji, I welcome you, and the floor is yours. Probably, as I suggested, you can present it by like 20, 25, 30 minutes, and then we'll have an interactive session. And maybe some of the questions that are likely to come, maybe you would have addressed it already. But in case there are any things that people still want to know, maybe we'll open it up. But as I said, we want to keep it a little more organized. So, somebody in our team will pick up the questions that have been asked, and we will pick up some of them, and I would be asking it. After your talk is over, Srinivas ji would ask certain questions on behalf of Pragna Bharati. So that's where we are, sir. And thank you once again, and thank everybody who's on the show today. And the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Oh, thank you so much. सबसे पहले आप सबको मेरा प्रणाम, and really honored to be part of this forum. I never knew that such a great community you people have created. Really honored to address you all today. I do interact with various other organizations, like last Sunday with the RSS on Swadeshi Jagran Manch. We had an event here, so I was supposed to chair that session, but somehow because of VIP delays, that was postponed. Otherwise, Swadeshi Jagran Manch, I was quite actively involved. Then RSS, you have that local regional pracharaks, every alternate week interactions. So during COVID and after that, how to revive economy and what is likely to happen. So with all your office bearers, I had an opportunity to address them. Plus, there's another organization which organizes event in uh, Tamil Nadu. If I say that, what is that? Pondicherry. So every year for that East Asian or international affairs, again, that is RSS outfit. So there also every year I address them okay, how India can build our international relations through agriculture and food because we are a huge market and we should leverage that. So that is also we have to look at it. So I had an opportunity to interact with many of intellectual people. In fact, my uncle, my brother, my bhavi, they all are very deeply involved in various RSS activities. So, but somehow being in the corporate world because of traveling, I was not very much, I will say that a regular participant of RSS activity, but in childhood, I do attended shakhas. So when I was in, not in hostel, but when I was in house in Bikaner, in hostel, that was not feasible. So that was the, and because I was studied in military school. So that was another challenge. It's a, confinement into the campus itself. So there are many interactions I had with your community people, those who have really serious about nation building and contributing at various levels through this organization and various other platforms. So extremely honored, sir, to address you all. Now, as you mentioned, sir, being a technocrat person, my purpose of my channel is basically there's a too much noise happening in social media. Lot of opinionated, I will say that discourse is going on in various channels because one of my journalist friends said that nowadays there is called Bodhik Atankvad. You just have a camera and a mic and you talk whatever rubbish you want to talk, and there is a platform like YouTube and LinkedIn and various social media platforms. You just vomit and dump there. Nobody knows what is the fact, nobody knows what is happening, and people just carried away with misnomer informations. And they build opinion. In fact, instead of contribution, they create more confusion in society. So um, my friends asked me this, Ki, Vijay, why don't you come out with channel? Because I used to appear very often on TV channels, virtually on a daily basis. And I used to get feedback that, anchors don't allow you to complete your sentence. Why don't you have your own channel? We want to listen to your views. Because I always look at facts and data. We may agree, we may disagree. I can interpret the same data in a different way. You can have a difference of opinion. That's all welcome. But at least we have a logic to talk. We are not talking or kite flying without justifications or data. So that is why this channel was started. And let me say that thank you so much to my viewers, audiences like yours. Like in 1.5 year or 2 year, let me say that today I will be touching 650,000 subscriber and reach has already crossed 90 crore plus. And the response is amazing. Like today morning session, which I did on Trump, already crossed almost like 2,67,000 viewers. Today itself about 3 lakh in two of them. So what I realize, sir, that people want to know what is fact. People want to know correct information. Otherwise, too many opinions without reading people share. And sometimes it appears that they sit with Modi and sit with Trump and they listen what Trump is saying and then they come and start talking on YouTube. It is like that everybody knows what is Modi is thinking and what Trump is thinking without having access to even to the forum itself. Anyway, so what today I'm going to do, sir, is the theme is very exciting, that global selfishness on the rise and what are the impacts and options before India. When I'm discussing this theme, let me understand with a very basic preamble so that we discuss not with any preconceived notion but with a logic. The basic theory of economics, and most of them are in business world or CAs and other people, if you, sir, look at what is the fundamental of economics, economics is every individual would like to maximize his or her gain. That is it. That drives the economy. That everybody wants that I should get more. And that is why you have technologies, you have management policies, you have theories, you have business activities, you create advertising, you create communication. End of the day, what is the objective? I want to earn more. And all paraphernalia in the name of so-called business strategy or policies, our taxation system, our import-export trades, anything and everything, underlining driving factor is where is the gain for me? That is the way world operates. The day we start saying I'm not interested in gain, then we are doing charity. And what we are discussing here is that there is no one who is doing charity in the commercial world. Everybody is moving into this minefield of business to have extra mileage or extra gain from the all efforts, whatever they are doing. With this preamble, if we do it, then we will have a very, very logical and objective discussion. What Trump is doing is not illogical. What India is doing is also not illogical. If both are standing against each other, that is also logical. So there is nothing heartburn here. Why Trump is? Many people tell me, why Trump is like doing like this. Well, what else he should do? Tell me. Or what Modi is doing, what else he should do? Give me the answer. Simply saying this is good or bad is not a point of debate. Point is, what is the option available with us? And what is good for India or what is good for our society, that we have to discuss. So what I'm trying to say in next 10-20 minutes is I'll just pick up some important highlights to drive this whole discussion to a very logical direction. See, what we are talking about when we talk about selfishness, selfishness is not between what Trump is doing, that he's trying to push India for trade negotiations and asking India to open up. This is not just one example of selfishness. Everywhere, every day we observe this. In society itself, when we are talking of inequality, anywhere, inequality is an outcome of selfishness. I want to have more thing. I have a better bargaining power. I force customers to pay more because I'm in a monopolistic market. Within India, companies do that. So inequality exists in every society because human nature encourages inequality. We are not saint by nature. We are not here to do something like everybody should have equal thing. We all work for our gain, so inequality will remain. Second important approach when you look into inequality is political polarization. We will make India, if I say that Hindutva, India is a Hindu society. On the other side, the political opponent says, why this? We want, it is, for India is for everyone. And there is a tussle going on. It is for everyone. It is for majority. It is for minority. And then we create a policy to appease someone and then to create a political advantage out of it. This is also an example of inequality because we create inequalities through policies. Then another very important issue which today we are facing is a role of social media in creating inequality, even inequality in communicating the messages. Today, if I want to communicate Hindutva through YouTube channel or I want to use social media, you see how many channels will be, or how many, I will say that likes will be there. There are certain news channels or certain YouTubers, they thrive on inequality by only abusing Modi day in, day out. And you look at their crowding. There's a huge followers of them. On the other side, there is another set of people, they create another narrative, which is, again, you say that it is not balanced, means it is unequal. So whatever is not balanced is inequality. And then we are talking about short term versus long term. Classic example is environmental issues. There also we are talking that inequality was I'm doing mining, I'm doing deforestation, I'm destroying our natural resources because I want to make money today at the cost of future generation. And then I'm creating an inequality because who has access will do it. This is what is happening in society, in every society. Now, coming back to the context of what is happening today at a global level. What is happening between, just to, because time is less, otherwise we can have a very, very long chat on this issue. If I say that global level, what is happening? America first. It means what about rest of the world? That I don't know. My game is make America great again, America first. Another point, if I just give a counter, there is a whole focus of make in China. There is a complete policy and there is an incentive accordingly. And then you have a make in India as well. We want people to come and make in India. We are not saying that you make anywhere and sell in India. So again, because there is our interest that we want society to have a better lifestyle, we are encouraging them to look at India in a positive way and do the investments here. But interesting part, if you look into today's world, sir, and from last 20 years, I'm saying that international markets for commodities are likely to shrink. Because every country, take example of agriculture. Every country is adopting technology with which objective? I want to increase productivity. I want to increase production. When every country is trying to become self-sufficient, where is the market? So what is happening? That market is technically shrinking, but more players wants to have the piece of the cake. And this is leading to conflicting approaches, conflicting escalations. And then we talk about a very fundamental issue of competitiveness. And that is why the whole approach of WTO was created. But as we all know that WTO when was created, that all will have the same rights, equal rights, fair and predictable environment. There has to be fairness. When you are dealing with human beings, don't expect fairness. This is human psychology. Within family, if there are three kids, don't get, everybody doesn't get the equal share. There's always something, younger will get something more and elder will get something more in something else. This is part of human nature. So we have to be ready as a society to accept this distortion or inefficiencies or inbuilt deficiencies of society or society's working. Then we will be able to build our competitiveness in a given scenario. So it is also a very simple thing is economic losses, short term versus long term. And that is what we have to look at it. Now, when we are trying to do it, what we are doing today, classic example I'm taking between India versus US, because that is, I think, one of the underlying thinking of most of the audience will be what all is happening and what is likely to happen in coming days. See what America is trying to push. The day President Trump came to power and he says, I want market access and I'll give you a big deal in his election speeches. When he was mentioning, I did a video, you can see on my channel. Trump is eyeing Indian agriculture market. I said this on the day one. And today, the bone of contention, why we are not moving forward or ahead in negotiation is single point focus is agriculture. And why it is happening, we have to understand the context there. America, if you look into, produces agriculture 3 times of their requirements because they have a huge land, there is a automation, they don't have labor. When they hire equipments or machines, which is a capital investment, you all are CAs, you know that when there is a fixed cost is high, what is the option? When fixed cost is high, you enhance the production so that per unit fixed cost can go down. This is the reason that America is producing so much agriculture because it is highly mechanized and technology oriented. And that surplus they were selling to the world market. This is the reason why they were producing and exporting so much agriculture product. If you look from the other point of view, population involved in agriculture is less than 2% and contribution of agriculture in GDP is less than 1%. This is also a fact. It means agriculture is a different agenda there. It is nothing to do with overall economic need, but it is a political need. Like agriculture in India is a political subject, and for India, I always say that in India, agriculture is a political activity, it is not an economic activity. Because all decisions in agriculture are based on political consideration. Similarly, in America, agriculture being very small but very powerful lobby, because there is a trade issues, there are technological issues, there are other leverages. That is why, whether we like it or not, America will continue to subsidize and support agriculture, whether we like it or not, because it has its own agriculture politics, like we have our agriculture politics. Now, with this response, what happened in the first term of Trump 1, in order to have a tussle with China, Trump started imposing restrictions on export of critical technologies to China with the objective that I will contain China's growth. In retaliation, what China did, every country knows where is your weak point or soft belly. In any game, we should know, like when we do, even in business world, what we do, we look into what is the gap in competitor, we design our product and concepts accordingly, so that we get extra market. Like this, when it comes to strategic planning, you have to also appreciate and understand that what is the weakness of America. China, I'm visiting China since 2006. Every year, Chinese government used to invite me 2-3 times to address their industries. Because around the world, I used to travel about 30 plus countries. I've addressed various governments, always as a state guest, and the local industry. So I can understand from various challenges and dimensions from where the things are emerging. So what China did, sir? China imposed restriction on American soybean and corn. This led to the crash of prices in America for their commodities. There is a law in America to support farmers' income. America had to invest $20 billion to take care of China's restricted entry of American products to Chinese territory as a retaliation to technological restriction from China to America. America to China. When this was happening, now come back to Trump 2.0. Minute in February, when Trump took charge, immediately what he did, he put tariff on 3 countries: Canada, Mexico, and China, in the name of fentanyl, because they are sending drugs. I want to restrict, and whole lot of immediately started doing it. What China did, China immediately raised the tariff on American agriculture product, nothing else. So China knows where is shoe pinching to Trump. And parallelly, what China did is, China started having a long-term agreement with Argentina and Brazil for their soybean, because as you know, China is a non-vegetarian society. Livestock is a huge economy. China's agriculture land is 1/3 of India. Area is almost 3 times, but their agriculture land is 1/3 of India. And in order to meet their livestock feed requirement, they need soybean and corn. They started importing from Brazil and Argentina and banned technically American products. This led to crisis in America. Now imagine, sir, if America is exporting 20-30 million tons of consignment to China and suddenly that is stopped, which is the country in the world who will accept this consignment? America started approaching Asian countries. They say yes. Now, how much Singapore will buy, sir? 20 containers, not 20 million tons. How much Thailand will absorb? How much Malaysia will absorb? Plus, they grow their own production. So they will not buy everything and stop their own. So whatever to please America, they started saying, okay, we will accept. But my requirement is to dump 20 million tons. Otherwise, agriculture is a perishable product. It comes every year. How long I will store? We are facing crisis in FCI. when we do not, distribute the material, we don't have a storage space. Imagine what will happen in US. So there is no storage space, no market, material is rotting. Farmers are already taking loan from the banks. Unless you liquidate the consignment, how you will pay back to the banks? Banks will come and take away your machines. There will be, mortgages based on land and other things. There's going to be massive crisis. And most of the large farms, they take material on credit, whether it's a pesticide, fertilizer, seed, machines, everything is on credit there. And if commodity is not sold, how they will pay back the money? And there's going to be another set of financial crisis, plus the crisis of allied industries. You know, agriculture machinery industry, pesticide industry, fertilizer industry, seed industry. What is the alternate use of pesticide? You can't consume. It has to have a spray on agriculture. What is the alternate use of fertilizer? What is the alternate use of, for example, agriculture machineries or harvesters? So the whole industry is asset specific. And when there is a breakdown on cash flow, it creates crisis for everyone. Now, in order to address that, Trump badly needs a dumping area. And there is no area which is visible to him better than India. That is why I gave you all this background, because why Trump is hell bent upon accessing Indian agriculture market, because he wants to get rid of his consignments which are lying in warehouses, and farmers are going to produce in every season, every year. Unless there is access to Indian market, there is no place in the world where America can dump that excessive material. We have to be very, very clear on that point. Now, if India suppose agrees to this demand, what will happen within India? If I give you a live example, I did a video, you can see in details. What I did is, I did a how long tariff will protect Indian farmers. That we have to look at it. If I give you very simple things, sir, two examples, because controversy is between corn and soybean. India's corn MSP is 2400. International price is ranging between 1200 to 1400 per quintal. It means we are 80% more expensive than international prices. If we allow and reduce the tariff, what will happen? Indian corn market will crash. And farmers will never be able to recover money, because even if I say that my MSP formula, which I say that Dr. Swaminathan formula is highly defective and illogical, with due regards to him, because that formula does not have any parameter of productivity and quality. So Dr. Swaminathan formula is a political formula, it is not economic formula. So unfortunately, why he did that, we don't know. I asked this question when he was alive, he had no answer. My point here is that if I reduce tariff, what will happen? 1400 rupees maize will enter India. My whole poultry industry, which is consumer of almost 70% of corn in India, now because of ethanol, other diversion is happening, 60 to 70% which goes into poultry feed, all will depend on imports, number one. My whole ethanol industry will love to have imported corn. Why I should pay 2400? What government is saying, pay 2400 as MSP. Now challenge is, who will buy Indian farmers' crop? I, as an Indian industry, I don't want to buy. It is too expensive. You cannot export because you are anyway much expensive than world market. That's what I'm importing. So the whole corn economy will collapse. Come back to soybean. We are already importing 60 to 70% edible oil for our domestic consumption. We keep talking about Atmanirbhar and Buy Indian. We just cannot say this for edible oil, because 60-70% of edible oil which we are consuming in house is imported. Now what will happen? Our soybean MSP for 25-26 is 5328 rupees. Let me put a round figure of 5300. International price is 3200. We are 66% more expensive. in case of soybean with the world market. Now, what will happen if I reduce the tariff? My poultry industry, again, oil anyway I'm importing. Today, soybean farmers are able to sell soybean because I want soya meal for my feed requirement for animal consumption. In that case, what will happen? Minute I reduce the tariff, I will prefer to buy either soybean from the world market or soya meal directly, like I'm buying oil. I will also buy soya meal. Now tell me, who will buy Indian soybean farmers' crop? It means corn is out, soybean is out. These are two huge crops. Now, what farmers will do then? The only option is they will abandon this. I'm just taking two examples. Same thing will happen in case of wheat. In case of rice, we are competitive. But wheat, we are virtually break even. Pulses, we are expensive, international market is cheaper. Oil, we are expensive, international market is cheaper. It means what we are doing in India today, we are producing carbohydrates, which I say we are producing wheat, rice, sugar, and maize. India is self-sufficient in carbohydrates. We are importing 70% of our edible requirement. It means in case of oils and fats, we are net importer, we are not self-sufficient. In case of protein, 3, 4, 5 million tons pulses we are importing to keep the prices under control. Otherwise, recall 5, 6 years ago when the pulses prices were 200 plus. And that was a political crisis. Last elections of Bihar. At that time, pulses prices were a political issue. So what I'm trying to say is that India is only sufficient in carbohydrate. In rest of the thing, we are deficit. Now, issue is, then why not we reduce the tariff and import? I gave you the justification. It means the whole agriculture ecosystem will collapse. Same thing in case of dairy, which is another controversial subject. In India, or I will say South Asia, we love desi ghee, which is milk fat. Nowhere else in the world, I'm a dairy technologist, I'm telling you this, and I was the only person in the world who filed anti-dumping case against New Zealand when Pawar Saha was agriculture minister. I'm talking of 2005-6. What I'm trying to say is that for us, ghee is a premium product. Around the world, milk fat, which we call it ghee, and the world call it butter oil, is a byproduct nobody consumes. So there is a price difference of 20, 30, 40% between our milk fat and international market. It means if I reduce that tariff also, and India milk prices, those who are aware with the cooperative systems or milk industry, our milk which we buy from the farmer, the pricing is based on milk fat prices. If milk fat prices will collapse because of excessive imports, the whole dairy industry will collapse because there is no incentive for farmer to keep animals because he cannot even recover the cost. Now that is going to be another set of crisis. So what I'm trying to say is that because of our high costs, and there is no incentive to improve productivity and quality because Swaminathan formula has no logic, has no factoring that how we are going to factor in productivity and quality in MSP formula. This whole two fundamental things of economics, productivity and quality, are missing from Dr. Swaminathan's recommendations as a MSP formula. That is what I'm saying. It is highly illogical and unjustified. But unfortunately, because of political reasons, we have adopted that defective formula, which is actually becoming a serious problem for us. Now come to another interesting angle. Before I move to the next point, let me elaborate this. Very often you must have seen, sir, people are saying why India is not adopting technology in agriculture like genetic GM technology. Now look at it. Has people say, but why we are not doing it? Even yesterday I was chairing another session. People were saying, Mr. Sadana, why we are not doing it? It's not issue of technology. Again, it is a geopolitics, or I will say it is a political economy. What is stopping us from imports, large scale dumping in India? Because we do not permit GM. Minute we permit GM technology for Indian farmers, there is no way you can stop me from importing GM products. It means now Indian farmers have to compete internationally at home. Today, Indian prices will have no logic of MSP, it has to be international prices. Minute you introduce GM, you are removing a major non-tariff barrier and there will be flood in the commodity market. And the whole ecosystem will collapse. That is one aspect. Second, even if I introduce GM technology, and I will say it is going to improve the productivity and quality and whatever you want to say, can you reduce MSP for GM crops? Will your political system permit? Suppose today MSP for corn is 2400. If I go by Swaminathan formula, cost of production plus 50%, it means 16 rupees is your cost of production, 8 rupees is your bonus, it becomes 24 rupees. By introducing technology, suppose my cost of production from 16 becomes 10. Is there any guts in any political system to say now your MSP is going to be 15? Can you do this? All farmers will be up in arms. How you can reduce our price from 24 to 10, well, 15? My argument is your cost of production is 10 plus 50%, so MSP should be 15. Why 24? Can you sell this argument to farming community of India, or for that matter, any beneficiary of MSP? You just cannot. So even if you introduce technology, your problem of MSP and issues related to political issues related to MSP is not going to be addressed. Now, take another situation. This is current scenario which I am analyzing. I did recently a video which you can see in detail how long tariffs can protect Indian farmer. I just did it three to 4 days back. Issue is today, if I say my soybean prices, I just did whatever has happened in the world market, because those who are in stock market, they know it, price captures everything. Policies, buying, selling, all sorts of sentiments is captured in price. It's a one number. That is why prices are important. What I did is last 10 years projection, what was their performance in last 10 years in growth of international prices and growth of MSP. In order to avoid all too many technicals and justifications, I extrapolated last 10 years experiences for next 10 years. You know what I got? It will be shocking. Price, the way we are increasing MSP for soybean in last 10 years, with the same ratio, if I continue to increase for next 10 years, soybean price will be 88 rupees per kg. And international price will be 48 rupees per kg. It means you have to, there is going to be difference between almost 90%. Can you have a tariff of 90% in soybean? You cannot. Today, tariff may be 30-40%. You will sustain that. Minute you increase, there will be implications because we are party to WTO, whether Trump agrees or not, but rest of the world agrees. So we cannot unilaterally increase tariff without compensating in other areas. So which sector you will compromise? Very difficult. It means assumption is that tariffs will remain same. But price differences become 90, tariff is suppose 40%. Even after paying full tariff, imports will be cheaper. What will happen to Indian farmers? We have to seriously think about it. That is one aspect. Then, in order to increase productivity, you have to introduce new technologies. I gave you explanation. Minute you introduce new technologies, you have another set of problems. Now, with this background, now you superimpose what Trump is asking. Trump is saying reduce tariffs. It means, and I'm telling that after 3 years anyway, and my message was to Trump that wait for 3-4 years, there will be no need to reduce the tariff. You will get Indian market access, because that will be because of our own policies, not because of your pressure. So we are in a self-defeating game. That is one way of looking at it. If Trump is saying reduce tariff today, it means we are preponing the disaster in agriculture. And rightly so, the Indian political system is not accepting. And the Indian political system is right. Recently, the Economist magazine, the global magazine which is there, if you see the latest issue, my interview is there. The journalist came from London to discuss with me all these issues. Take example that are we pitching livelihood against profitability? What we are trying to do. America has 26,000 dairy farms. In India, I have 80 million dairy farmers. Trump is saying, give me access of dairy products. It means he is hell-bent upon protecting 26,000 dairy farmers. And he is saying, I don't care, you compromise livelihood of 80 million dairy farmers. Is this logical? That is where we have to understand and create a narrative based on logic. Now, there is a new debate which, if you ask me very honestly, people are talking about non-vegetarian milk. You must have heard about it. Do you know, sir, this law was drafted by me when Pawar Saab was minister. The whole problem is the law which I drafted. I was advisor to Pawar Saab. What we did, and this is a different story altogether, maybe time is less today. There was no logic of veg or non-veg. Because ideally, what is milk? As a dairy technologist, if you read the biosynthesis of milk in cow udder, it actually comes from blood only. When 500 liters of blood is circulated through cow udder, 1 liter of milk is produced. Details you can see in scientific literature. I will not go it because time is short. Otherwise, I can share many, many interesting dimensions to it. Time is constrained. So what is happening? Vegetarian, non-vegetarian is not a strong argument, because there is no technology in the world which can prove that milk is veg or non-veg. Again, as a technologist, I can tell you. If I give you a milk from America or India and I'll say differentiate whether milk is veg or non-veg, is there any parameter? Is there any machine? Is there any detection method? Nothing. So unfortunately, what is happening, without knowing the technical justifications, our social media and mainline media start creating a narrative which has no logic. If I'm an advisor to Trump, I can shatter this logic in 2 seconds. Okay, this is a sample, please tell me whether it's veg or non-veg, and you have no answer. So if you have no answer, how you can say that it is a non-vegetarian milk? I'm saying it is a vegetarian, prove me other way around. And we will fall flat. So sometimes we create a narrative which cannot be defended. But then why this law which I drafted is defended, I will take half a minute to give you a background. Recall there was a mad cow disease in UK in 95, 96 that time. 16 billion pound industry, beef industry collapsed in 3 months. It became zero. Till date, nobody knows what caused mad cow disease. Till date, no scientific, I will say that confirmatory evidence to prove it. What the science says, there is a distorted protein found in animals' brain, which they gave a new term called prions. And when they did because there was no evidence of source, so they give a probable linkage that feed which is given to the animals had slaughterhouse viscera or waste, which anyway in many parts of the world, including in India, we give in the name of meat meal, blood meal, bone meal, whole lot of these things, because these are natural nutrients for animals. In India also we give to improve the health of animals. Now situation is, with this whole approach, when the whole thing came, Pawar Sahab told me, ki, Vijay, if we are not going to protect our Indian farmers, there is going to be flooding and we will be in disastrous situation. So please do something. And I told him, if I'll do it, it will be like a virtually blackout. It will block everything, not one. You can't be selective. And we had a long discussion on that. And he says, ki, Vijay, you create a system to protect Indian farmers. And he was very clear on that. At any cost, Indian farmers have to be protected. Then I drafted this law. And you can read it. There is a law. It was of 1898 law, which was defunct. Nobody knew the law existed. 1898 law we took out. In 2002 we revived it after 105 years, introduced 5 conditions in that which I drafted. Till date, our livestock industry, the whole livestock, poultry, dairy, meat industry, aqua industry, fish industry, honey industry, all are protected because of those 5 lines which I drafted. So sometimes we have to use science in a law making to protect effectively, and we know the reason today. So now with this background, that reducing tariff on India, and which is a principal demand of Trump, and we know if we agree to this, what disaster India will face. It is going to be a serious political crisis. And it is also going to be a serious economic crisis, livelihood crisis, employment crisis, and many more. Hence, I will endorse what Government of India is doing is right, based on scientific economic justifications. Now coming back to the second issue, which is the point of contention, is the data protection. We want all our IT data, which we are sharing on social media or e-commerce sites, must remain in India like China is doing. Unfortunately, all our data is going outside India. And one of my concerns with Government of India and IT industry of India is why we are not able to create like China has done, and we call ourselves IT superpower. I don't know from where we are using this word. We are not able to create a single email server in India, alternate to Facebook, alternate to LinkedIn, alternate to YouTube. We are designing software for them, but for 150 crore population, we are not able to create a single activity. And we call ourselves we are superpower. This questions the mindset and the vision of our IT company's board of directors. I'm straight charging with due respect to them. What they were doing sitting there. Why there was no proposal to Government of India and people of India that we will create, please adopt Swadeshi email, please adopt Swadeshi social media platforms instead of dumping all your sensitive information to American servers. And every data which we feed is improving their algorithms on a daily basis, on second basis. We are becoming more and more isolated in case of technological warfare, away from the market, minute we put more data there. So we are very, very serious on that. Then issue came of immigration policies. America says we will create our own manpower, why we should hire Indians. And now you see yesterday, Nabero is saying very, very clearly on that issue, we should tax Indian IT services. And our export of IT services is $260 billion. $150 billion is only to US, 60%. Now, if you are going to destabilize that, 50 lakh IT jobs will be at risk. And there is no alternate, like there is no alternate for America in case of agriculture products. We have not created IT markets in India so that we can continue to engage our force or workforce to serve Indian IT requirements. We have done nothing. We are only labor provider, which is sad to look at it. Then there is an issue of other issues that you should come out of a BRICS, de-dollarization. Because America can only screw any country by blocking dollar and transactions like they did in Russia. Last year when I was in Russia, sir, Nothing I can operate. Even servers which are in Australia, in America, in Europe, I was not able to access anything sitting in hotels there. Went there to address a conference. Even to get a Russian visa, I have to make payment in Chinese currency on a Chinese server, and I got a Russian visa. So it was not dollar. And today, if you look into yesterday's item and my today morning's video, which is already crossed to 70,000, 270,000 people viewership, where I elaborated. Now, what they are saying, India must meet our three conditions: get out of the BRICS, focus on dollarization, don't think of de-dollarization, promote dollar transactions, and open up the markets. So I gave you a very clear example of opening of the market, how it is going to be disastrous. Get out of BRICS, it is another going to be disastrous, then it will collapse the India's standing word over that India collapsed against American pressure. So there is no sovereignty, you are simply towing the lines of America, which is political and diplomatic suicide for India. And the third issue is de-dollarization, means you are putting all eggs in one basket. It means you cannot do trade with Russia, you cannot do with China, you have to go with everything. And dollar is going to be in crisis because this year America will not be able to roll over their debts, which is going to be about $9 trillion. Every country is pulling out and dumping, I will say that treasury bills of America. Who is going to buy and give them $9 trillion? No one. So there's going to be a serious crisis. That is why rating of America is dropped from AAA to lower level. So today what we are looking into is a very, very serious issue. Now, what is the solution, sir? Let's come back to solution. I'm just trying to cover the highlight. There are too many other things. I don't want to go into that. Hope that issue will emerge in Q&A. I will address that. India must seriously focus on Make in India. And I will say that to all of you, because sir, you must be having, PMO or all key ministers must be listening to RSS and spokespersons like you. I have a humble request. Please read the document Make in China 2025. How they have drafted the document. China has very clearly told all their companies by 2027 onwards, no foreign computer hardware, no computer software will be allowed in Chinese companies. They give clear targets. In India, our policy documents are vague. No milestone, no destination, no resource allocation. There is no difference between a political speech and policy document in India. Our bureaucracy simply types what PM has said from Lal Killa, simply types it and write policy. And we all read it like a storybook and dump it. I think Pragna Bharati must take this as an agenda and evaluate all policies what Government of India's various departments are making and send a critical feedback. And I think within Pragya Bharati, we should create a core team to evaluate all policies, whether it is a industrial policy, infrastructure policy, IT policy, banking policy, and send our feedback. These are the gaps, please fix it. Only then, otherwise, bureaucracy will say something and no politician reads anything. Today, nobody reads, everybody watches video. That's why I have a blog also. There are 700 articles. I moved from blog to YouTube because nobody reads blogs. It's easy to listen. So that is why what I'm doing through YouTube is basically conveying the message which people don't read. So that is one thing we have to look at it. Second, when it comes to domestic competitiveness, we have to do benchmarking of our industry. Sir, many of you are CAs, intellectuals. How many companies have a benchmarking? When I work with my clients, what should be your coal consumption per ton of steam? How many people know? Nothing. Very few companies do benchmarking. Who is evaluating today my cost of manufacturing or steam consumption? Coal consumption is high in steam production, which is supposed to be 50 kgs per ton. Why today you consumed 55 kgs? Is there any such discussion happening? In my companies, wherever I'm advising, I make these fundamental issues ki benchmarking. I'm not interested in sales stock. Because what happens in the market, competitor decides. We have no control on that. We have a control on our productivity, quality, and production. Can we become best there? India must focus there and do the benchmarking with the world. And then we have to communicate. India has such a lovely thing. What we are doing on YouTube or social media, we're talking crap. Anything and everything. Either we are totally pro Modi or we are totally anti Modi. There's no logic in between. We don't do balanced discussion. We either try to please Modi Sahab or we hate him. There are only two sets of opinion leaders in this country. Nobody has a balancing approach. Because of that, what is happening? We are sending a lot of wrong messages to society. Because majority goes depending upon what information he accessed. My wife says, Vijay, have you seen this? She's incidentally a lawyer. What you have seen on some YouTube? Where is the data? There was no data. Then why you are listening? When nobody is giving you a reference document, when nobody is talking about data and everybody says Modi wants to do this, Modi has never thought of these things what you are talking. Modi will fix Trump. Where it is written? Who said? Trump will come begging to Modi. What are we talking? Modi ne Trump ko ragad diya. Is this the way of social intellectual discussion? But this is full of narratives, which is creating confusion and giving a wrong signal that everything is great in India. There is no need for improvement. Problem is, Trump, Modi hai to mumkin hai, Modi will fix Trump. This is the whole narrative of the whole societal discussion. We are not focusing on areas of gaps and where we have to improve. So the whole national energy is going in pleasing each other or abusing each other, not which way we have to go. So that is in brief what I will say, sir, that India has to have a balancing approach because we need China also. In last 10 years, our import from China has doubled after introducing Make in India. It means Make in India is failing. And I have another video 3 days back which I did. Why Make in India is shaking. Make in India क्यों लड़खड़ा रहा है? Because there is no concept of quality. Our ISO 9000 certificates are fake. Our all quality lab reports are fake. All certification systems are fake and manipulated. We get all these certificates to participate in tenders. We get a fake lab report so that we get export clearance. When these consignments reach the destination port, we face rejection. And today, all rejections are on internet. One country rejects, every country get a red alert, they all become alert. And they start rejecting Indian consignments. They start probing more. Indian spices, I monitor all 160 countries' notifications which they issue. Sir, our surveillance is 50%, means every alternate consignment should be surveyed which is coming from India. Whereas the world average is 1 to 2%. This shows that people don't trust us. This is our credibility in the world market. And we say we are doing great. So there are so many things. Simple messages. World will remain the way it is. People will work for their self-interest. But if we have something, why America is not able to arm twist China, this we should study. Because out of around 80 critical technologies, China is leading in 60. And when I went to China before COVID, we keep talking about India is an IT superpower. Sir, go and see the IT parks of China. India is nowhere. The amount of IT technologies they are developing. We are just labor provider. We are not developing technologies. China is developing technologies and selling technology. They are not labor provider. There is a difference. So we have to be very clear. India is the biggest market in the world today, growing market. Everybody is eyeing India. You go and talk to Indian entrepreneurs, okay, why you are not investing? You know what is the classic answer, sir? You must be getting more interaction than me. Where is the market? Is the word mad? Everybody wants to enter India because they see India is a huge market. You are sitting in India saying, where is the market? Either you are crazy or people, those who want to come to India, they are crazy. Both can't be right. They can see opportunity in India, but you can't see because you don't want to invest in R&D. You don't want to invest in product development. You don't want to focus on excellence. You just want to remain in the lowest level of operating, which is commodity trade or branded commodity trade. 3 days back, we introduced our Vikram chip microprocessor. I did a event, means a video on that. Please see that. My answer is, again, taxpayers' money is used to create a microprocessor. Where is the Reliance, Adani, Ambani, Tata's, Mahindra? They use more chips than ISRO. Why they are not investing? Why they are importing microprocessors? Why they have not collaborated with ISRO? Sir, you put 20%, we will put remaining 80%. And let's create not 110 more chips as per our requirements. Why Indian businessmen do not have vision or desire? We should question the board of directors, what they are doing sitting there. Unless we question them, see, let me conclude by saying one thing, because time is there. And this is a very important lesson. Sir, I was invited by Thailand government to discuss the nutritional challenges in society. I was in Bangkok. Thailand, once upon a time, was known as the worst country in the world when it comes to malnutrition. One of the worst. Today, it is a role model how to address malnutrition. It was an international gathering of about 30, 40 people from world over. I was one of them. There was one gentleman with me in the group. He was an advisor to the king of Thailand. And he was instrumental in bringing that change. Very, very old man, about 75, 76-year-old, but very energetic, full of knowledge. After my presentation, he came to me and says, Mr. Sardana, your arguments I fully endorse and they are logical. And we became a little bit more comfortable with each other. I asked him, sir, I know you have done a success story, but tell me one reason, and that will be my last point, sir. How you are able to convince politicians and bureaucracy that they should invest on nutrition? You have achieved it. Without political support and bureaucratic support, you can't do. And he gave me a guru mantra. He says, you know, Vijay, I was called many times by Indian CMs and PM's office and everything, we want to do it, but you cannot do anything. I says, then what is your observation? He says, the problem with the Indian is you believe in appreciating fake things. You know there is a malnutrition. You know your ministry has not done anything in last 10 years. But when in seminars you say, you start stuti, praising minister, under your guidance, great things are happening. He thinks that everything is going great, then where is the change required? You create fake narratives and give fake appreciation to your policymakers and bureaucrats. They remain in illusion that everything is going great in the country. So where is the need for change? And that's why India is not improving. You people are responsible for appreciating wrong things in your country. So when you are doing wrong things and appreciating it, the destiny is very clear that you will never improve. So please stop appreciating. What I did is, when I used to meet Prime Minister or my bureaucrats, when I used to address them, I used to tell ki your country, means my own country, Thailand, is in shit. If in UN conference, some journalist will ask you ki why Thailand is in so bad in nutritional level, what should be your answer? Tell me, don't you feel it humiliated? And if you are feeling humiliated, what actions you have taken to reverse it? This is the way I motivated and educated bureaucracy, by telling them the facts, not by saying, sir, you are great, under your guidance, everything is going great. You people are misleading your policy makers and politicians, and that is why India is in crisis. So let me close it here, sir. There are too many things to discuss. Time is a limitation. Anything else, I will take in questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Vijayji. Thanks a lot. Yeah, I think you touched upon quite a lot of issues, especially on agriculture and things like that. I'm sure our audience has a lot of questions to ask as well. But quickly, there are a few things which I wanted to ask of you before I let our president Srinivasji to take it. Um, See, there is a view that I wanted to ask of you. Is it that Donald Trump has actually assessed the real problem that his country is facing, spiraling debt and challenges with regard to dollar slowly being de-dollarized or whatever, and thinks that US is in an unsustainable model. So what happened in the past is now coming to bite them. So it looks like people who are supporting Trump, they're suggesting that he's trying to plan an organized crash landing of the US economy. Right. So, for instance, the debt is now $37 trillion. So, probably once a dollar devalues, then the burden would, have a slight reduction in that. And then if the consumption in this country can go down by all these tariffs, the tariffs actually will be taken by the citizens only, right? This is not going to be picked up by the countries which are exporting. It's all going to be absorbed by his own citizens. So probably they will start buying less and consumption could go down. So probably the extent of irresponsible consumption that is there in US would go down. So probably he has actually planned all these things to cause pain to his own people, but he's actually telling them that I'm punishing somebody else. So this is the argument that we hear, that he's actually doing this to ensure a very proper conditioned crash land of his economy, because now it is unsustainable, $37 trillion. So, and then the dollar is now slowly becoming outdated. I think 2 days back we got the news that the gold reserves in the central banks has now overtaken the dollar reserves. So looks like there is a lot of stress on the dollar as well, and their bond yields are also not going great. So effectively, what he's doing is actually trying to correct the challenges his country has got, and so he's doing what he's doing. This is the narrative. What are your views on that? And of course, as a corollary to it, his attack on our country is, of course, is completely self-inflicted. He's motivated by his sense of hurt that we ignored him so much, and so probably that's a view that a lot of people take. And all the tariffs he has put, he has given no logic for any tariff. All the logics he has given don't fit in, right? If he says because of the trade imbalance I'm putting these tariffs, Brazil has a negative trade balance with USA, but still he has put it on Trump on Brazil. And then for us, he spoke about Russian oil. For Canada, he says something else. For each country, he has got a different logic. But then ultimately, the underlying principle seems to be cause pain to his own people so that the consumption will go down and this unsustainable model would be able to control. What are your views, sir, on that?
Thank you, sir. Very interesting observations from your end. See, partly what you are saying is right, but problem what Trump is trying to do is, one side he's trying to attract the cash flow into the country. That's why I'm saying how much you are going to invest, and he is talking about $10 million, $100 million, $500 million. He's trying to create an impression that all my cash deficit I will be able to cover by attracting all these investments. That is one he's trying to give it. See, ultimately he's a politician, and his narrative is also to address his vote bank. We have to keep that factor in mind. He knows it well. After all, he's a businessman. All his cabinet is are shrewd, hardcore, commercial people. So everybody knows what is happening. But in the process, he cannot accept there is a crisis. because any politician will never accept that there is a crisis in my country and then there is going to be a separate disaster. So, in order to address the crisis, he is one side creating a smoke screen, trying to delay the disaster with this hope that whether if I get, for example, Indian market, I can dump and give some relief to farmers by stopping incoming, immigrants, or I will say that technical people, I can create some jobs for the people there. That will help. Then trying to push their exports of crude by banning Russia. I will sell my crops, so I means my crude and gases, so that I can get some cash flow. He is exploring every possible thing to improve the cash flow into the US ecosystem. That is what he is trying to do at all levels. At the same time, his problem emerged because countries like China, when he started putting things together, okay, I will push countries like China into a corner, but somehow he realized it late that actually your survival depends on China today. And who created China? China was created by American company with American capital. So monster is created by you only. And that is why now he does not want to create another monster called India. That is also a political justification why he's trying to fix India and trying to wean away from China and Russia and other things, and India should remain in my territory so that I can use India as a market. Nowhere in the world India is known as a supplier. Please, this is our myth that India will become a global, food hub or food basket of the world. This is all fake narratives which we create for our own satisfaction. Neither we are competitive, I gave you in detail examples, nor our quality, nor our productivity, nor anything matches that. There's a lot of work to be required. Now, here comes up is that Trump badly needs cash flow. And he will try to use, and that is why his arguments are not consistent and logical, as you mentioned. With China, some other argument, Brazil, something else, India, something else, Europe, something else, China, something else, Russia, something else. He is desperate. He knows that there is a writing on the wall. How to control it? And that is why, if you look into the Department of Government Efficiency with Elon Musk, he wanted to cut down all the government expenditures. But now with big and beautiful bill, he also knows that he has to earn money for himself and his friends. Trump's personal wealth has doubled since he came to power in 2.0. All his friends are minting money. And latest one of the leaked email in Washington Post very clearly says the agenda of all this global crisis and tariff is basically to acquire and force other countries to sign the contracts with his friends. Either in somebody will do in mining, someone in oils and fats, somebody in crude, somewhere in some other segment, in technology, in IT, whatever it is. So what you are saying is right. As a politician, he don't want to do crash landing. He knows it is inevitable. Trying to cushion it, instead of crash landing, he wants to do a soft landing. And with this hope that, trust me, I will revive the situation in 2 years' time or 1 year's time. So bear with me. And that is what he is saying. In short term, there may be pain, but I will revive the situation. So that is a political narrative which is going on in America, and that all what you have said, somewhere it fits into that jigsaw puzzle.
Wonderful, sir. And one more question with regard to this. What do you say? Friends and foes. He has attacked both. Right? Europe. He's tried to bully them. He's tried to bully Canada, Mexico, Japan, Korea. I mean, he's bullied everyone. So temporarily, they had all of them took a shock. But do you think they will not plan something to counter this in a long run? If that be the case, what would happen to the hegemony of USA? Do you think in the medium to long term, would they be able to sustain a global order which they themselves created? The globalization model which they created, now they are going 180 degrees on the other side and saying we're going to be protectionists. So when it suited them, they created globalization. Now they're going the other way around. And you think the world is same as it was in 50s and 60s? Now even his own friends are going to probably look at some other alternatives, right? So how do you see the future of USA, maybe in the medium to long term?
So 3 weeks back, I did a video. The title is "Thank You, Trump." Okay. Why I'm saying this? Around the world, imagine, sir, 2 months back, was anyone talking about rare earth magnets? Nobody knew. Okay, what is this material? What are the issues with that? 2 months back, no one was discussing this topic. Similarly, nobody was discussing we have to focus on gold instead of dollar. Nobody was talking about we should create our own critical material and critical technologies. Government of India started all these critical missions and revived it just in last couple of weeks. We were also sleeping. Why I'm saying thank you, Trump? Because he has wake up everyone, friends and foes, everyone, that you can be screwed up either by me or someone else. So wake up and plan yourself. So there is a positivity because of what Trump has done. He has shaken the status quo of the world. Everyone is looking for new alignments. Otherwise, world market is of $27 trillion merchandise exports. I'm not including service. If I do it, it becomes something about $34 trillion. In this process, India's export is only $450 billion. We are less than 2%. And we are less than 2% since 1950s. It means, irrespective of which party is in power, we did nothing for economy. We are just giving slogans. So remember, sir, what I gave you example of Thai advisor. So we all were sloganing. We are not doing anything on ground. What Trump has done, shaken up that. Okay, boss, you can be screwed up anytime. So at least on critical areas, technological areas, in your own supply chain, manufacturing, technology, wake up and create your own. I may not supply you. China may not supply you. And China did. Fertilizer, specialty fertilizers banned, magnets banned, critical chemicals banned, so many things. So it is good development. I'm not taking as a threat. It's a positive. What Trump is doing, again, my first statement, he is very clear. No one is friend or foe in the game. He has his personal agenda, being a businessman. What is there in Pakistan? Cryptocurrency. So he is willing to support Pakistan because he wants cryptocurrency business from Pakistan. All black money of Pakistan journals will go through from Pakistan to anywhere in the world through crypto. So no RBI, no central bank, no FATA, nothing will work. So these are all game plans which Trump is doing for his personal businesses and also for his businesses. At the same time, he knows this is his last term. 3.5 years left, or even less than that. Whatever he has to do for personally, and also he wants to prove that he was the greatest president of American history. I mean, he wants that. He should be recognized at par with Lincoln or Washington, that I gave the liberation to all those things. That is why his agenda is very short-sighted and focused. So he is not looking into diplomatic pleasantries. Otherwise, sir, tell me which president of the world has a diplomatic discussion with 200 cameras live, or even foreign affairs meetings with other presidents and abusing them online in camera? His own cabinet ministers, cabinet meetings online, live streaming. Have you ever seen in the past? No. That is why we have to be very clear on these things. This has to be addressed. And that is what he is trying to do.
So that's what I had asked you. If this is the way he handles it, I mean, where would America go? What would happen to them maybe a few years from now? Do you think they would lose their supremacy in the world? That's what I asked.
It is already started, because look at the BRICS 31-page document which was released in BRIC declaration in Brazil. I think all of us should read it. It's a masterpiece. They have virtually included I have never seen an international declaration or a document covering so many issues in one document. Not even India had a G20. We had too many documents which had no meaning. Look at BRICS document this time. It actually shaken up the President Trump that what the countries of South are going to do, or developing world is going to do. And that is why he is insisting de-dollarization, I will not tolerate. Sir, if you look into the whole thing, in last 20 years ago, in 2000, the world trade in dollar was about 72%. Today, it has come down to 52%. Assumption is in next 10 years, by 2035, it will be 42%. It means every year, 1% trade is moving away from dollar. And this is what is shaking them, because there is an alternate to SWIFT. Every country is making their own payment gateways. They don't want to depend on Western world at all. Currency, they want to move away from dollar to gold, time-tested currency, a reference point. So things have already started. China has already dumped $300 billion of treasury of US. US dollar has already degraded, or I will say that gone down by at least 10% in last 4 months, which is a continuous trend. So what you are anticipating in long term, sir, that process has already started. And when we are talking this year's rollover of $9 trillion of debt which Trump has to do, if there is going to be crisis, this process will accelerate much faster.
Yeah, I think we are also on that path from our side also. I think in the last 10 years or 11 years of Modi's government, I think we cut down our forex reserves, sorry, dollar reserves by roughly around 20%, it looks like. I think 75 to 50%, I think we are there. And then also gold, we have doubled it, literally almost as close to what Modi ji took over to what we are today. I think we have kind of doubled the gold reserves, it looks like. We've been doing it very silently, and
Yes,
I think we are in a much better position, I suppose. I hope you agree with that.
absolutely. See, these things very often people say that from Lal Killa, why Modi has not said anything to Trump. See, there is no need to make noise. When I was interviewing one a prisoner who was convicted in murder case in a jail, as a lawyer, I had that opportunity to interact with them. So what is your learning as a criminal in life? I asked this from a criminal. What is your learning of life? You know what? He gave me a very interesting message. Okay, Mr. Sardana, whatever you don't want to do in life, and if it is of significant impact, don't even discuss with your wife. Minute you explain to anyone else or elaborate to anyone else, it is no more confidential. So what government of India has to do, just do it. No need to tell anyone, including opposition or parliament. But what is in national interest, just do it. Country will get.
Wonderful. I think, Srinivasji, would you pick it up and then raise your questions? I think Srinivasji there.
Yeah, I'm here.
Please go ahead.
So, Vijayji, I'm sorry, there's a problem with my system. So, I have, first of all, thank you. I think tremendous talk. We have lots of questions, but I will limit to questions posed by our guests here. So, let me just start with one question. So, will farm laws, bringing back farm laws and maybe making changes to MSP, will it improve our agriculture scenario?
Very much. Incidentally, I was also part of the team which drafted farm laws. And till date, I'm asking all those people, those who objected to farm laws, to show me one line which is anti-farmer. Show me one line, and nobody is able to answer till date. So this question should be there, number one. Number two, farm law should be brought back. It is becoming a political hot potato. But what I will say that whether you bring farm laws back or not, bring the spirit of the farm laws back into agriculture for two simple reasons. Our consumers are always paying higher than MSP, always. But that money never reaches the farmer. See, there is only two sources of income for farmer. Either consumer pays or you subsidize through taxpayers' money. All politicians, all farm leaders are talking, you know what? Consumers are paying higher than MSP. That money is not going to farmers. Someone is stealing in between. Don't talk about that. Look at the narrative in the country, and I think this forum should take up. Pragya Bharati must raise this issue at various levels. Don't talk about that who is stealing farmers' income. You just tell us how much taxpayers' money you will contribute as a subsidy. Can you see the narrative of the whole ecosystem in the country? सब्सिडी दे दो, एमएसपी बढ़ा दो, बाजार नहीं खरीद रहा है, सरकार खरीदे. सरकार कहां से खरीदेगी? अगेन फ्रॉम टैक्सपेयर्स मनी. So everyone is eyeing taxpayers' money. Nobody is talking about market efficiency. And they know it. It is a narrative created by outside world, because if money, taxpayers' money goes into such non-productive activity, country will never have money to do progress in R&D or infrastructure development. So how to kill India? By raising such illogical, unjustified demands. Unfortunately, such demands have a populist appeal. Farmer leaders thrive on these unfortunate demands. When you go and confront them, they run away. But among farmers, they make noise. My only problem with RSS and BJP, sorry to say this, you are the largest organization in India. Why counter narrative was never created? Why this message was not given through n number of social media platforms or TV channels which government of India is controlling? Have a serious debate on a daily basis कि how to improve farmers' income by reforms. And I have two suggestions here. 50% of shops of APMC mandis should be allocated to farmer organizations. Farmers' income will double immediately. Because what farmer is doing, selling at 5 rupees, you are paying 50 rupees in city. If the same thing is in farmers' hand, APMC mandis, this cartel, if selling at 20 rupees to a retailer, farmer will also sell at 20, na? Because he is sitting in the same mandi. You are keeping farmers out of APMC and asking him, you just grow, I will take care of marketing. And I will only exploit you as a producer. This is disastrous for farmers. Neither RSS is raising this issue, nor your Kisan Sanghs are raising this issue, nor Swadeshi Jagran Manch is raising this fundamental issue. No one else. Why? So unless if I say that you do structural changes, it will become a political issue. Don't do it. I'm saying just simple thing is APMCs exist. State has to only make a one-line policy for farmers' welfare. We will allocate 50% shops in APMC in the same mandi. If shops are not there, we will create. So what you have to do? You have to create a building which may be 100 feet long with shutter of 6 feet and just give it to the either farmers cooperatives or FPOs. You will solve your problem. So my request is these should be done, but we are not doing something which is logical. We try to make life complicated. So farmers will gain from Indian consumers. Only thing is consumer and farmer should come directly face to face. Farmer will understand what consumer wants. Technology transfer will happen. Cash flow will improve. Varieties will improve. Productivity will improve. Everything will start changing. Today, APMC is actually a black hole. Farmers are not getting market signals. They are not getting what consumer wants. They don't know what are the market quality requirements. Nothing. Today, customer is in dark hole. Second thing which was done good Again, government of India killed it, including Mr. Modi, sorry to say. When I used to run, sir, soybean industry, I used to buy 2,000, 3,000 tons per day, soybean and mustard. If I tell farmer that soybean price is 20 rupees a kg, you know what farmer used to tell me? Okay, sir, in commodity exchange price is 22, why I should give you at 20? Farmer had a reference point to bargain with me. What Modi government did? Banned all commodities on commodity exchanges. Farmer is directionless. If I say 19, he doesn't know how to question my price. If I say 18 or I say 20, everything is going against farmer. I am exploiting thoroughly. These are sensitive issues, but unfortunately, our political system take a very myopic, superficial view under the pressure of money contributors. I will say that money bags and vote bank politics, not reality, which is killing agriculture and farmer. And I have a serious difference of opinion with what government of India is doing, including Modi government. So please help them in understanding the realities. I know there are political compulsions. There will be lobbies, but we have to take it. When what we expect from Trump, we are not doing even in-house. We are not logical. So that is what I'm trying.
Thank you, sir. In fact, this was a question by a senior, Pragna Bharati member Shailaja ji. But in the answer, you've also answered a couple of questions from Sridharji and other people in how to protect our farmers and enhance productivity by investing in technology and related issues. The other important point would be um, what is the threat to from Trump or the global threat on if tariffs are going to be levied even on services, especially IT services. This is a question from Mr. Ram here. So, yeah, are we facing serious threats in the future?
Yes, this is definitely a serious issue. Look at another data which I have done in another presentation, that why India should gear up fast. When I'm saying that why make in India is shaking or लड़खड़ा रहा है, आप देखिएगा उसमें, I have put couple of graphs there with data. Our problem is currency. Consistently, we are about $100 billion deficit between import and export. Consistently. We never became a surplus in trade ever. Our surplus is coming from services, which is $230-40 billion. $150 billion, which is 60%, is from US. If there is going to be tariff on services, definitely two things are bound to happen. Today, we have to appreciate one thing, and which Elon Musk has said. We have to, and there's a title of one of my present video is, can India take benefit of this? What Elon Musk has done, we have a company called Microsoft. Elon Musk has created a company called Macro Hard. Just reverse it.
Right.
You must have seen that.
Yeah.
What he is saying, I will provide all the services which Microsoft is doing. All the coding will be done by AI. It means you can imagine there is going to be role of AI in technology development and coding, which India is offering. So Indian IT services will not be required the way AI is developing. From my IIM days, I was telling that IT is a self-defeating industry. It is a self-cannibalizing industry. Every new technological development in IT kills what you learned so far and experienced so far in last so many years. AI is actually doing that, cannibalizing whatever your skill set was there to develop a new coding system, all out. Now, issue comes up here is that if IT services goes down on demand side one, tariff is second, what will happen? Our inward flow of dollar will come down. If dollar inward will come down, it will do the devaluation of our rupee. If there is going to be a steep devaluation of our rupee, our import bills will go up because we are anyway importing 85% of our crude. Plus, our other liabilities, we have a huge debt from international market and international banks like IMF, World Bank. Our liabilities will go up, multiply there. And today we have a trade deficit with China, which is 100 billion plus. And our foreign remittance is $100 billion. It means all the NRIs which are sending money to India, what we are doing is we are putting in a plate and handing over to China. We are getting $100 billion. We have a trade deficit with China. We give $100 billion to China. It means all our NRI contribution is not making any difference to economic growth of India or economy. This has to change. That is why I'm saying Make in India must be re-looked at seriously, not the way Government of India is tinkering here and there, which is sad. Still, we are not serious because our policies are becoming disastrous day by day. Commerce Ministry says we will target another 50 new countries. My answer to very simple, what product you will sell? Textile? Can you compete against Vietnam, China, Thailand, Malaysia, Bangladesh? No. What you will sell to those 50 countries? IT products? You don't make. Can you sell the food products? International market is cheaper than yours. What is the logic? We will target 50 companies, 50 countries. In fact, the policy should be, we will identify these 5 sectors: textiles, our IT services, our white goods industries, electrical products, whatever it is, pharmaceutical products. And we will focus on how to make them globally competitive. What will anyway will come to you to buy? No need to run. Because when you are giving a quality and right price, who doesn't want it? Again, I'm saying that bureaucracy is putting, a cart before the horse. We don't know what we are doing. And there is nobody to question this. I'm the only one who is shouting. So what I'm trying to say is that Modi hai to mumkin hai is good in slogans, but that is not happening on ground. We have to focus. Please, for the God's sake, convey to the all right people, you have better access than me. Have serious debates. Otherwise, we are losing time. We have only next 24 months either to decide survival or we will have a serious crisis. So we have to run fast. That is what my concern is. So, sir, what you are saying, taxation on services will have a serious impact on dollar flow, and that will have a devaluation impact that will destabilize all our import because we are net importer. We are not export economy, and no one in the world talking about India as a export hub. We are the only ones all self-satisfaction, doing self-goals. We have big myth about the ground reality. In last 75 years, we are less than 2% of the world. We have never improved. And how we will improve suddenly? Look at classic. This year I was in Vietnam in the January month. Vietnam export is $350 billion to America. What is our export? $150 billion. They are getting more FDI than us. What is their size? 1/14th. They are getting more FDI, exporting more. We are still in illusion. In China plus one, what will come to us? Nobody came. And I was telling from the day one, no one will come to you after even COVID, when everybody was assuming. Because our bureaucracy, red tapeism and corruption, no change has happened on ground. Whatever Modi ji says, corruption has gone up. Accept the reality. So this is a serious thing, sir, which you are raising.
Thank you, sir. The next question is basically if is there a threat of the US freezing our assets, the dollar assets that we have? Is there a threat on that also?
I doubt, because that will be too extreme. That is only a warring country, because we have seen there is some sensible voices emerging in America, both in political as well as in intellectual and experts, that what Trump is doing with India is disastrous, because India is the only hope. Now look into the top 10 economies, sir. In top 10 economies, top 15 economies, you have America, China, India, whole of Europe, Russia, and one or two other countries. All are already polarized. Russia, China is one side. Rest of all 11 big economies are anyway Western countries, G7 or G20, whatever you call them. India is the only pivot. That is why both sides want to pull India towards their side. And what my suggestion, and I'm sure here Modi Saab is doing very right thing, maintaining a balance and equidistance from both camps. We will do what is right for India, but we will not be sitting in anybody's lap. And this is the right approach which government of India is doing. That is why yesterday night, on which I did today's video, the Commerce Secretary of US says India must decide on which side it is, and we should not decide, because they are desperately want India to leave BRICS and join US, and India should never do that. At the same time, India should never be too close with China, because China will never give you technology. They want to use your market. America will give you technology, but they also want to use your market. So I have done a whole lot of these analysis in my various videos. So if you get time, with all data, numbers, timelines, sector-wise, whole lot of analysis there on my videos. So you can get that update there, sir.
Sure, sir. A couple of questions on agriculture, if you don't mind, quickly.
Please, welcome.
We'll wrap it up in 10 minutes if it's okay with you.
Yes, sir.
So, Mr. Shiva, one of our guests is asking, the Subhash Palekar model of natural farming, will it be a good answer for solving our problems?
Disaster. The reason is very simple. Sir, before 1967, we were organic. There was no green revolution. We have created one state called Sikkim as a organic state.
Mm-hmm.
Sikkim's food security is at stake. FCI has to supply. They have to buy a whole lot of agriculture from Bengal and Bihar. Point here is, sir, let me give you one fundamental example. India's population is today 145 or 1,450 million. Let me put the same unit. Okay. India's agriculture land is today 140 million hectare. Per capita land availability is only 0.1 hectare. This is for human food security. I have not included feed requirement for livestock. I have not included requirements for your ethanol or biofuel and so many other things. With growing population, by 2047, when India will become a want to become a developed nation, our population will be 1.66, means per capita land will be 0.8. Can so-called organic agenda feed the population? And my fundamental question, the way we are having productivity today, will India be food secure, or we will be dependent heavily on imports? I'm saying 70% edible oil is coming from international market. Our 10 to 15% pulses are imported. If we don't do it, prices will shoot up, inflation will be beyond control. Our soils are degrading, water table is going down, productivity in last 10 years is stagnant. What will happen? Palekar Saab, give me a roadmap how you will ensure food security of India. Give me that. N number of Greenpeace people came. Everybody came. Mr. Sadana, why you are pushing technology in agriculture? We should be natural farming and all that. I says, I can raise any flag. I have no botheration. Just give me food security plan of India. Have you ever seen food security plan of India? Have you seen food security plan of any state government? Agriculture is a state subject. How they will feed their population and their requirements? None. We are just talking in air. What we have is agriculture policy. You read it, you will throw it. It has no significance. There is nothing except, as I said, some minister's lecture is converted into agriculture policy. No milestone, no productivity targets, no allocation, no research focus, no extension, nothing, no infrastructure. And where is the policy? Where is the food security plan of India? Why we are not asking? RSS should demand from government of India. Where is the food security plan of India? You are talking about defense plan of India, national security plan of India. Very good. Food security is more vital. Without food security, there will be unrest throughout India. All revolutions and lawlessness start because of food inflation and non-availability of food around the world. Go to history. And we are not focusing there. Yes, sir.
Fair enough, sir. Is one of our members, Mr. Prasad, Krishna Prasad ji, is asking, GM crops, is it a solution for this problem?
Sir, I have given the answer. GM crop as of today is not the answer as long as you have MSP problem. Even by introducing GM crops, what you will do is you will not reduce the cost of production or MSP in India, but you will open the floodgates for imports. And unless farmer adopts the GM technology fully and willing to accept market rates, not insist on MSP, then there is a hope. But if farmers insist on MSP, which no political system have a guts to reduce it, they will always say inflation is going up. So please increase MSP. And I gave you a number of examples how it will be disastrous. So problem in India is MSP, which is becoming illogical because there is no factor of productivity and quality. So what you will do? You will introduce GM technology for what? To increase productivity. Even if you increase productivity, MSP will not come down. Then what is the use of introducing technology? You will create surplus. Market prices are higher even for surplus. What you will do with that? You can't export and there is no domestic market. It will compound the problem. So this whole issue cannot be addressed in compartments. It has to be a holistic approach. And that is what I'm saying. Where is the food security plan of India? Unless you create that, only then you will bring all these dimensions and try to address them. Otherwise, simply by saying introducing technology or changing MSP, another problem with MSP, as I'm saying, every year when you increase MSP, and if you don't increase custom duty, you are entering into a danger zone. After 4 years, it will be better to import than buying from Indian farmers.
Couple of points, sir. First of all, I'd like to move away from the agri point, but one of our guests, Ayush ji, is just replied saying India exports $800 billion and Vietnam is 400, and our exports are higher than Vietnam. And of course, Vietnam exports $100 billion to US while and not 300 or more. So, any comment on that?
Sir, 800 includes services. Your merchandise export is 450, 500. If you look into the overall exports from Vietnam, it is 350 or something billion dollar to US.
Correct.
That is the data which is from your international trade forums. And that data I have, I can share the references.
Okay. So, moving away from this, sir, coming back to the main topic on the global selfishness, is there a role for are we seeing the beginning of the end of the rules-based order, and UN or WTO and all these global agencies are losing their relevance now faster than before? And are we looking at BRICS and the SEOs and these forums becoming even more important? So, what's your thought on that?
Sir, For next 3.5 years, because multilateral agencies all are technically defunct because Trump is the main, the US is the main funding agency. WTO's major focus was dispute resolution. Can you imagine that from last 2021, no judges are appointed by US in dispute resolution. So all your dispute resolutions are virtually sine die. कोई काम नहीं हो रहा है. That was the only objective, that there should be some hearing platform. Otherwise, this forum has become defunct. All international forums, US says, I don't listen, for me, America first. So that is the reality. So for next 3.5 years, we cannot expect any international or multilateral agency to function. In absence of that, there's going to be series of bilateral arrangements, which we call it FTAs. But problem with India in FTA is, again, because our productivity and quality is challenged, we are actually running away. Either we are telling them, okay, don't include agriculture in FTA, or we are not party. Look at what we did in ASEAN. We moved out because we know in case of agriculture, there will be problem. And we are not technology suppliers. There is no innovation R&D happening, which we can export. So what we are actually, India is doing, we are trading in branded commodities. Your textile is a branded commodity. Your basmati is a branded commodity. Your pickles are branded commodity. Your marine is branded commodity. Your gems and jewelry is a branded commodity. We are, as a country, basically trader. We import from China, just put into box, do little polishing, and export at 2-3%. That is why there is no money for R&D and development, because we are traders. We are not entrepreneurs or manufacturers. We have to change our nomenclature. We call ourselves that we are entrepreneur and we are investors and we are manufacturers. Where is the R&D without manufacturing? So what I'm trying to say is that as long as we have a trader's mindset, challenges will remain, and we have to go for multilateral issues wherever we feel comfortable. But very often, minute we push hard, we go into back foot. So first, again, I'm saying we have to put our house in order as fast as possible. Then we have a world market available to us, because world market is $27 trillion. And our export is $450 billion, less than 2%. 98% market opportunities is available to us. Do we have products to sell? That is a fundamental issue.
Sir, I'll have, I think
Srinathji, I think
we should close here now. I think 9:30, a lot of people have dinner time. So I think one final comment from my side, sir. It looks like the problem is not with technology or farmers or people. I think the first solution lies in bureaucracy. That's where I think from all the discussions we had, the problem probably lies with the bureaucracy and how to refine or revise or rectify. I think it starts there.
I doubt, sir. I doubt. I have a difference of opinion. Tell me which law says you should not do R&D?
Sorry?
Which law says you cannot do R&D? Show me one law. Show me one law which says you cannot produce good quality. Show me which law which says that you have to sell adulterated product in India. See, we are trying to shift the responsibility from ourselves to someone else.
Makes sense.
Our problem is mindset, never resources. We don't want to do excellence. We are satisfactory underperformers. चल रहा है ना, माल बिक गया, पैसा आ गया, अब देखेंगे कल का कल देखेंगे. We work on yesterday basis. We never think on tomorrow. In India, I always say that there are two departments which every multinational has, and there is Indian companies never have it. One, business development. In India, sales, marketing, and business development all are mixed into one. We don't even differentiate. That is because our board of directors and top level never even understand the difference. That is one problem. Second, corporate affairs. It acts like a radar on the economy. In India, corporate affairs means मंत्री से अपॉइंटमेंट, बैग उठा दो, टिकट बुक करा दो, होटल बुक करा दो. When you interact with corporate affairs people, I used to address World Economic Forum, World Bank, IMF meetings in different parts of the world. Who used to meet? Director Corporate Affairs. What he is discussing? Sir, which law India is proposing? Sir, you have this subsidy. Is this logical? They go into policy environment mapping. That is the role of corporate affairs, not hotel booking and appointment and bribing, fixing. Our game of corporate affairs is fixing. So we have not put our organizations in place. That is the problem. And the reason is the board of directors, the promoter families, they feel they know everything because in India, whoever has the authority to sign the check is always right. Even if it's illogical, everybody says, sir, your idea is great. I have seen in board meetings when I sit there, what great? Yeah, he's talking rubbish. Maybe he's son of the promoter. So what? He has no clue what is happening in the world. No, sir, your idea was fantastic. Psychophancy is our expertise.
Thank you, sir. Uh,
Sorry, I'm really sorry, Vijayji. One last question. FPOs that we have, Rajesh ji, our senior colleague, is asking FPOs. Are they going to solve it? Of course, apart from all the other problems that we need to solve, FPOs, is it a good step forward?
it's
Sir, I introduced FPO concept, from where it came? From BJP manifesto.
Mhm.
In 2014, Rajnath Singh ji told me to draft an agriculture section of BJP manifesto.
Mhm.
We created FPO when Pawar Saab was their agriculture minister because cooperatives have certain limitations in investing capital investments and retention of funds. That's why there was a reason behind it. Why cooperative की जगह FPO क्यों बनाया गया? There is a history behind it. So when BJP manifesto, otherwise you show me one Niti Aayog document or any document which says that we should create 10,000 FPOs, it actually emerged from BJP manifesto, which I drafted. So point here comes up is, in this process, idea was that we should bring professionalism into FPOs. And what we did in FPOs, we made another racket. We hired consulting agencies. They are only interested in lapping up that 20 lakh, 30 lakh per FPO, which is required for creating FPOs. They don't have manpower. They do have office bearers, have no training, nothing. Out of 10,000 FPOs, if you claim, I was in a financial company of NABARD, which was mandated to do the funding of FPOs. It was our priority lending. It was very, very difficult to get a good FPOs to whom we can extend loans. Very difficult. I'll be very happy out of 10,000 if you even show me 500 FPOs which are performing. That answers your question.
Actually, that's
Because
something we should.
capacity building, let me answer here. FPOs will never thrive or survive without capacity building. And we have focus on capacity building. You go and talk to Government of India. They will say, yes, we have training programs, we have institutions. Like we have engineers, we have a whole lot of people in the market, but they don't know what to do. So many degrees, so many capacity building programs, but no competency. So capacity building program is not leading to competency. This is a serious concern.
Fair enough. So thank you. This session has been, I think, more focused on agriculture because of your background, but I think we'll come back specifically for agriculture some other day also again. Uh, Thank you so much. I hand over this to Giridharji and then Krishna Prasad ji.
Yeah, I think Vijayji, I think we had a very interactive, very lively interactive session we had. Great that most of our people were participative. It's just that for the probity sake, we didn't allow them to speak because so that we can have an organized way of raising the questions. So our apologies to all our audience so that we could not allow you to talk directly. But Srinivas ji picked up a few of the questions and presented it to Vijay ji. But I think the takeaway is we need to step up, we need to pull up our sleeves, and we need to do a lot more before we can start talking of challenging the global order. Um, I think the title aptly speaks about it. Global selfishness. Probably we need to get selfish as well. Try and shape up our own stuff. And if we are selfish and what Modi ji said, Atmanirbharta, we have to be focused on our own products and our own capacity building and our own quality. I'm sure we would be able to challenge the world order as it collapses in front of our eyes. Thank you so much, Vijay ji. I would now request Venkatakrishna Prasad ji to propose a formal vote of thanks, and then we'll conclude from there. Neeraj, you can unmute him.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Giridhar Garu. विजय गारू विजय जी आपका जो टॉक है the way you have spoken, it's come in a very, very natural way. Well, you read all our minds, and we were about to ask you many questions, but then each of your statements actually have given that particular answer straight away. But then we still put some questions. As you very rightly said, the hope for the improvement is certainly quite in a distance. I think the thing is totally on each one of us to take it forward in a positive way. And as you said very rightly, whether it is Modi 3.0 or anybody, each of us need to actually be vocal about what is right and what needs to be instilled. Even today, having worked in the pharma industry, I find there is no research aiding atmosphere. As you very rightly said, where will the research aiding atmosphere come unless we give an opportunity for the scientists to do here? These guys go to US and then they get 5 patents. And here in India, it's like the crab mentality. So starting from the regulator up to the government, everybody should actually eliminate that bureaucracy. So we thank on behalf of the Pragna Bharati, all the attendees who have come here and stayed on patiently. Thank you, Mr. President, Srinivas Garu, General Secretary Raghu Garu, Giridhar Mamadi Garu, Vice President, and Sharma Garu, everyone. And it's been a very nice talk, Sadhana ji, and we look forward to more such interactions with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. It is really an honor to be with you all. I'm sorry, I'm unfortunately sometimes very straight and direct. I don't have filters and I don't have a so-called, fake pleasing mindset. Because I always say that, we all are the same family. This country belongs to us. If we are not self-critical, then who will be? Because outsiders will always give us a fake assurance that everything is great, everything is going well. And this will keep us in a fake illusionary world. And I don't want to be there. So that is where I want to say that when people say that why you are so critical, reason is very simple. This country, belongs to me only that much, as much as it belongs to you or to Modi Sahab. It's not that we are less or more. If we all are party to whether what we are doing is good or bad, we all are equally partner to this. So we have to improve. We have to be self-critical. Challenge is mindset, never a resources. And I think this forum which you have created is fantastic because I don't know where it will go. When I do my videos, I get a lot of feedback from politicians and bureaucracy, media people, professors in India, outside India. When I travel abroad, people see that also. In fact, today I was just discussing with my wife, a taxi driver in Bombay wrote to me on my today's video. Yes, sir, this is what is happening on ground. Even a taxi driver watches my videos and he gives me a ground level feedback, which enriches me. So his contribution is also there. So my only humble request is that, sir, we have to be frank because one common thing between all of us is that we want good for India. Modi Saab is as a leader. We have to convey the facts to him. I don't know what facts people are conveying, but our role is also that we should convey our voice also. And that is why my only request is in my videos, I put with the detailed analysis and data. You can subscribe to that. You will get a lot of ready-made data there, which you can use anywhere. There is no copyright on that. My only purpose is that what I'm thinking based on data, what is my analysis, I'm sharing with the world. From one person, it goes to 1 lakh. Beyond that, where and how you want to use it, you may be bureaucrat, you may be politician. Many of Modi Saab's senior bureaucrats, they are good friends. They watch my videos regularly. So what I'm trying to say is that this is an attempt to communicate the facts, alternate sources of information. One is official source. Second is unofficial source. So you can also share it. We have to create an ecosystem, people like all of us, and create a bigger voice so that we push it कि sir हमको R&D का ecosystem चाहिए आप बनाइए. I don't know bureaucracy will give this or not. हमको agriculture farm laws जो थे वो सही थे. आप उसको farm law पे लाइए. Whether you go through a state route, you go to any other route. Give freedom for farmers to access the market directly. Let consumers' income goes maximum to the farmers. Like in dairy, we are sending 80% to the dairy farmer. Why not in horticulture and other crops? Where is the problem? Address it. So what I'm saying, unless we create a counter narrative against those people, those who are trying to suffocate India's development, it will not happen, because this is a noise word also. They have too much noise. Why India should not bring new farm laws? When we all know it is good, why we were quiet? Why we have not made the noise? So those who make noise get hurt, and we in decency remains quiet and suffer. So I think we all should have a noise with more logic, more data. You all have great experiences. Pool them into it. I'm not saying what I'm saying is right. This is my views, my opinion based on certain facts and data. I may be absolutely wrong. I'm willing to change, but at least give input. Put your thoughts together and let's create a system for better India and better future of India. So this is what I'm expecting and hoping. Again, selfish nature. The title is that only, we should be selfish. So this is my selfish agenda with you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you.